kids, big kids, little kids, comic books and toys for all the girls and boys.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Adam and McCunna here.
Hi.
And today we are going to draw Shang-Chi from the Marvel Comics, Marvel comic and the movie as well.
Yep.
Which we just saw recently. We didn't get to go to the movie theater to see it, so we saw it on Disney+. So we are actually working from one of our Marvel Legends action figures here that we just unboxed recently. Check out that video. So we have them in a basically simple pose, and we're just going to kind of use them as a reference. It's always fun to draw from our action figures. And we actually, today we wanted to speed up this process because we know that some of our videos are longer. So we actually did a kind of a rough sketch beforehand just to give us an idea of composition and what we're going to draw. And so now we're just going to go over it with you. And you can follow along in pencil, you can follow along in marker, whichever you prefer. So basically, we're going to start with the nose. And we're going to start, about a head's length from the top of the page. Because we're going to fill up the whole page or as much of it as we want. You could draw bigger or smaller if you like. So with the nose, I just start with a couple little lines for the nostrils. And then I curve it down and up. Kind of like a stretched out U. Then I'm going to give it a little line like this. And then I'm going to have it come down. I'm not going to go all the way down. I'm just going to imply the nose, we don't have to draw every single line. So then I'm going to start with the eyes. And I'm going to do like a little curve like that. And then I'm going to draw the eyeballs. And I'm going to basically draw circles, but I'm going to leave a little white dot in the center. So I'm almost making like really thick C's, like one is forward and one is backwards. Then I'm going to go above the...
My Sharpie is really thick.
Oh, yeah. You want a thinner one?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we're back. McCunna's Sharpie was a little too thick for him, and it was bleeding into the paper. So we just gave him a little... He's going to do the rest of his in a thinner Sharpie. I still have mine. So one thing you want to notice if you're inking in Sharpie is, if you get a new one, it's got a nice point. But if you push down really hard, it flattens out the tip pretty easily. So we kind of go through these things pretty quickly. Otherwise, you have a thinner tip like that. Okay, so now we're going to, I was going to do the eyebrows. So the eyebrows are just above the eyes, and I'm giving them a little bit of an angle up and then down. A little easier with a thinner Sharpie, huh? Yeah, maybe we should do it with those from now on.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to do the forehead. That comes out a little bit like that. And then angled in around the eye. And then for the cheek, curves out. And then I'm going to round it out to the jawline. A little bit of a chin there. And then that's going to curve up. And then up to this ear over here on his right side. And then a little C right there. I'm going to give him a little smirk. So like I'm kind of like angling his mouth up a little bit just to give him a smile, because he's kind of got a good sense of humor, right?
Yeah.
At least in the movie. Little line there. Now I'm going to give a partial ear on this side because we're not going to see the whole thing, because in this drawing his head is tilted a little bit or turned to one side. I'm going to give him a little S shape in his ear for some detail. And then a line, just a small line right there for the sideburn. And then that goes up and then angles in and then up again. And then the hair Comes down and then curves up right about there. He's got a pretty nice head of hair here, so we're going to do some lines here, some simple curves. This is kind of coming around on the side here, like so. I'm going to give him some kind of like little lines here, and then it's going to curve up and come down right about there. And I'm going to do some, this is where the part in his hair is on the side. I'm going to go up, and then I'm going to do those lines. I'm going to do them a little smaller going down. And then I'm going to bring the hair down like that. All right, then the neck comes out of the ear, or off of the side of the jaw like that. And then on this side, it's a little shorter. And this is just a cartoon version. This is not going to be super realistic. So then we have part of his shirt here that comes down. There's a little V, and then it goes up. And then we're going to follow that shape, and we're going to do like this. And then it's going to come to a straight line right there. And then it's got another line that kind of copies that. And then this one in the first one we did is actually black, so I'm just going to color that in black. You could do that later if you want. I have a thicker marker. It's a little quicker for me to do it. Yeah. Good. All right, so now we're going to have two lines on either side that come down at an angle. Then I'm going to do his shoulder. And then his bicep down to his elbow. Some curvy, wavy lines. And then I'm going to extend this forearm down at an angle. If you want to make it, you know, you can hear Kayla scaring somebody in the background. And then this is the other part of the forearm, and it's thicker at the top, and then it gets thin down towards the wrist, because then it goes into the hand. And then we're going to make a fist here, so I'm going to put the line out like that. And then it's going to come up like that, and that's going to be the thumb, which will be tucked behind the pointer finger, which will be curving in because he's making a fist, so we'll cut it short like that. And we'll do 4 little lumps for the fingers, and they kind of angle up as we're drawing them. And then like that. And then the other part of the arm curves here. And then into the armpit, I did like a little line there. Okay, now we're going to go to this side, and we'll do another curve there. And another bicep muscle there. And then his forearm, this one's going to be going into an angle that goes up, curve it up, and then in. And then we could start at the wrist this time, and we're going to curve it somewhat down like that, and then give it a little hard edge there. It's going to curve up like that. And then for this hand, he's going to have like a kung fu chop here. So we're going to have a line that goes up like this. And then in a little bit. And then this is going to be the thumb. It's going to curve down and then back up. And then this will be like the palm of the hand there. And then we're going to draw 4 fingers. So here's 1. And then the middle one is a little bit bigger or longer. 3. And then the pinky 4. And then it comes down like that. I'm going to draw another line here for the palm of his hand. All right, good job. So now we're going to draw the chest. We're not going to go all the way up, but we'll start like a line right there, and then it'll curve inward or angle inwards. Not too much, just slightly. And then down. And then we'll come here on this side, the body's going to be overlapping, so it's going to come down like that. And now his shirt kind of flaps out like that. Not too much because it's going to follow the shape of the leg. It's going to come down at an angle here. And then it's going to come up. And then it's going to make a W shape. So it's going to come down, up, down, and then up again. And then down on this side of this leg here, which for my hand, depending on where your hand is, it's going to go behind it, kind of like that. Yeah. Okay, now for the leg, we're going to...
Try connecting.
Yeah, you can connect that if your hand isn't overlapping it. So now we're going to give him his crotch area right there, a little line. And then the legs are going to come out of that. We'll start with a shape like this. I got my legs kind of far apart. And then we'll give a little area for where the knee would be. And then the leg comes out again for the calf. And then it comes in again and then down where there will be an ankle. And then we'll go to the other side now over here, and then we'll kind of copy that same shape. We'll give them a little space for the knee. And then the leg comes out again, and then down like that. And it gets thinner as it gets down towards the ankle. I'm gonna loosely connect those. And then I'm gonna draw, he just wears like sneakers, so I'm gonna draw a foot shape here that almost like a upside down question mark. And then it goes in a little bit and then out and then connects up. Okay, then we'll go to the other leg, and the other leg's kind of like stretched out. And I'm gonna go down, and then it's gonna go in like that, like down. And then we'll do the calf again where it comes out at a little bit of an angle, gets rounded, and then comes down to the ankle like so. I'm gonna draw a little curve for the ankle. And then this part of the shin is real hard bone, so it's more of a straight line. And then it sticks out a little bit for the knee. And then we're just gonna add an angle going up, connect it just like that. And then we're going to come down for the foot, and it's going to curve down and up a little bit. We're going to stretch it out like that. It's going to come down a little bit like so, and then we could curve it up like that. Now getting into the details, he's just wearing like some very simple sneakers, right? So we're going to draw that line there. And then he's got some, they're laced up, which I don't know. Like, I go hiking with my shoes or walking, and my shoelaces are always coming untied. This guy's jumping from buildings and, you know, fighting on trains, and his shoelaces never come untied. No matter how much I tie my shoes.
Yeah.
Don't you feel that way? Like, they still come untied. He's got some super laces. Yeah. Not to mention that, I think his shoes would just fall off in general.
Yeah. Probably.
Okay, so we'll get into some more details. So for I can't tell if he rolls up his sleeves or it's just the way the costume is designed. But he's got these sleeves that curve right there at the forearm. And then the same thing, they curve in that direction. And then he's got these like shoulder, I don't know what they're supposed to be, if they're armor or what. I would think it'd be kind of uncomfortable to wear these things around your shoulders, especially if you're doing all this loose, kung fu fighting. But what do I know?
Good point.
So this one curves down, and then under the arm like that. I'm gonna color mine in. Okay, and then let's see. Okay, so now we're gonna get into some tricky parts. I color that in just for kind of like shadow, like that. I'm gonna also use the crayon when I color mine in. So, and then you could, if you wanted to color in these sleeves because they're black, I'm gonna do like that. Like there's some little highlights in there. If you want to use the thicker marker for coloring, and you could switch in between the different markers. Because you don't, sometimes if you have the thin marker, you don't want to color in like the pants black with a thin marker because you would waste all your ink.
Yeah.
As an artist, you got to think about your supplies, and they're expensive and you don't want to waste. All right, so here's a tricky part. He's got like this design on his chest. I don't know if there's any special meaning to it, but we're gonna just try to do it the best we can. So we're gonna start with like a big X that has like crosses over kind of tiny here to create a V shape and goes down further. Okay. And then from this part of the arm, it kind of connects like that. Now there is another line here that comes down, and these cross over as well. Okay. Then a little further up, you're going to do the same thing. And this one actually goes like that. I didn't get to do it on that side. And then starting on this second line here, you're going to do like an M shape. It's pretty tricky. And even now, I don't know if I got it completely right. Just looking at the action figure. Okay, so now we're going to do another line here. And this one is going to cross through here and go up. So right here. And then the same thing is going to come down this way. Like that. Okay, and that's basically the design. And then there's another line that comes down to the center of this point right here. Yeah. And then he's got some thinner lines that come in the red part of his costume that come down. They're a little hard to see, but there's two on either side there. And then from under his arm, there's another line that comes down to this flap here. And then the same on the other side here. Pretty tricky. And then for the arm, for the shoulders, he's got some more of these designs. So I'm going to bring mine out like a little line there. And then it goes up like that. And then there's another one that comes like that. And then the same thing on this side. For his arm, it's because of the angle. So I'm just going to do a line like that just to give you an idea of it. All right. So that's our Shang-Chi. I'm going to do a little line for the kneecaps here. I have my eraser, so before I color, I'm going to erase some of these lines. All right, so we erased our pencil lines, and I really like your Shang-Chi.
Thanks.
Came out nice. And so we're going to color this. I'm going to actually start with his skin. I'm just, that way I have that all laid out. So it's just his hands and his forearm. I always think it's funny when like superheroes wear like armor, because this outfit is like some type of like special clothing, right? That protects him. But like his forearms are exposed and his hands, the thing that he hits the most with. Right? You think like he'd have protective gloves on.
Yeah.
So where I did the eyes, like when I color, well for me, I'm gonna leave color underneath it because I didn't do a line there, and then I'm gonna leave some of that white for his eyes. All right. Now I'm going to actually I'm going to use this blue for his hair rather than black. They do that, or they used to do that in comics a lot. Now with they have better coloring, so they could actually color different tones of black. And then maybe I'll go over it with a black crayon. There we go, that looks good. Give it a little color. I'm going to do the same thing with the pants. Give it a little bit of blue, even though it's all black. Really appreciate everybody drawing with us. If you're watching this part with our coloring, thank you.
Yep.
We've been really busy doing Punk Taco 2, so we don't get to do these videos as much as we'd like.
Yep.
Plus schoolwork.
Yeah.
Maybe if people paid us to do this, we'd have more time to do it.
Yeah.
But until we get more viewers, we just do this for the fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to color this in a little bit of blue.
Well, we just need more views.
More views would be helpful. Yeah, but you know, so please tell your friends if you enjoy our videos. If you have requests, let us know. We do this for the fun because we like hanging out. It gives us a good reason to loosen up, draw together.
Yep.
Especially since usually when we're drawing, it's, well, for me, it's work. This came out better than our Linus.
Way better. Our Linus is terrible. It was like
we were pretty rusty with the Linus.
it was the definition of terrible.
It was fun though.
Yeah.
We haven't laughed that much doing a drawing in a while.
Yeah.
All right. Let's add some black. So you can see when I do the blue underneath the black, I can be a little lighter with my black, and then it kind of gives it a little bit of definition. So I can play with the form. There we go. All right. There's my Shang-Chi. Hi, Kayla.
It's ready. We can't go in now. We have to go now.
Okay, I know.
not 11 yet.
Nope. We're being interrupted, but you can finish your coloring and
How long does she think it takes to get there?
I don't know. You do have to find parking though. McKenna and his brother are going to
Pottery!
do some pottery. Well, I work on Punk Taco Volume 2, so which is available for pre-order. So check it out on punktaco.com. Pre-orders are really, really important. We're only going to have 1,000 copies available. So if you want one, please place a pre-order soon.
How many did we have the first time?
The first one we did, for the first printing, we also did 1,000, and then the second one was more. So we still have some volume 1 second printings available. Not a lot. Only less than 400. Hey, that came out good.
Yeah.
I like your Shang-Chi.
Thanks.
I kind of want to watch this movie again. What about you? Yeah? Maybe sometime soon? All right, everybody. Thank you for drawing with us. We hope you had some fun. We will see you again soon. Peace, love, and art.